Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to a spooky and haunted Halloween Ask Engineer. It's not exactly Halloween, but it's as close as we're gonna get. So you get us. I'm a spooky Miss Lady Ada, and with me is the ultra spooky and gothy Mr. Lady Ada on camera control. We've got an exciting show for you tonight with all sorts of scares and new projects and stuff about open source hardware and Arduinos and videos and other things to keep you happy and warm at night. What's on tonight's show tonight?
Good question. On tonight's show, the code is Flex Matrix. Do you know why? Because we're going to be showing some flexible matrix.
Okay, well, yeah.
That's what the code is.
That's fair.
Flex Matrix code. Pack the mailbags and stop by. Adafruit job boards. Time travel. Wearable electronics. 3D printing. A little bit of Pi news. A ton of new products, because we had to bail on the show last week, but we were back with a vengeance. We're going to answer your questions. I'll have a trivia question, all that and more on, you guessed it, Ask an Engineer. Yep. We're back.
Better than ever.
Yeah.
Recharged. We have to go back to our home planet.
Yeah. No, occasionally there's emergencies that we have to take care of, and we did, and now we're back.
It's very rare.
We've been doing this for 6 years, and we will probably be able to do this for another 20 or so years.
Before what?
What?
What happens in 20 years?
I can't tell you.
So it's like the singularity or something?
I can't tell you.
Okay.
But we'll be doing this for a while, so.
I hope it's not death.
It happens.
Okay, but we are here, and we do this every show every Wednesday that we can, 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Rocking it out. We're broadcasting live from the Adafruit headquarters. So
yeah, we're in a real factory.
We're in a factory. There is boxes and construction and equipment here.
Yeah. Okay. Just a reminder, Flexmaster.
That's like the gym equipment.
Yeah, Flex Matrix is the code, and that's all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Let's take care of some stuff. Our free deals kicked off. Adafruit.com/free. We got a half-life perma proto, a trinket, a pro trinket, and free UPS ground, depending on what you add to your cart.
Not only that, but we have a new photo.
Yeah, we have a new
photo.
photo.
Look at this. We've had the other photo for a while, but now it's updated to have the new product.
Yeah, so as you're adding stuff in your cart, you'll see the different tiers. So if you're like really close to $100, you should just add like something that's like $1. If you're close to 150, 200, 250, we have things at different tiers.
Every $50 tier, you get something for free. And they add up, so you get the thing from the previous tiers as well. So you could walk away with free shipping, a perma proto, trinket, and a pro trinket. Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, next up. Don't forget we have same-day delivery in New York City. Mm-hmm. And that means if you're in New York and you order before 11 a.m. and it's a location within New York that can do same-day delivery, you'll see the little thing come up and say same-day delivery in New York. And it's been working out really well.
Yeah, we've
really
had
really big companies use it a lot.
We've had a lot of like design companies, especially because they're like, oh, we need a thing to make a prototype, and like we need this for our client by tomorrow. So it works out, and our service, the service that we use, the reason it took so long for us to get this out, not so long, I mean we took the right amount of time, is we wanted to make sure that the delivery service we had would always show up on time, was dependable, reliable, didn't get lost. It's been working out. Yeah,
we use the same service that Apple uses for their same-day stuff that they have for their business customers.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's going on. A little bit of a reminder, you're watching Ask an Engineer. And we also have Show and Tell at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, Ask an Engineer is every Wednesday, unless we're burning down something or being burned, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, Lady Ada, why don't you briefly go over the show and tell, because we have a big show this week.
I'm going to do this fast. You do the things you have to do.
Yeah.
Starting off with Phil B., who also won Pun of the Week. You'll have to watch the video to find out what his amazing pun was that awards him the gold star in punitude. He's been working on a wasp costume, and it's the wings part for Erin St. Blaine, who has been doing a lot of projects with us and with Phil B. She's going as the Wasp, which is an Avengers character. I don't know if it's a good character or an evil character or whatever. It's a very cool character. And so she's got the helmet going. She's got her outfit. And so he's working on this backpack-mounted wings thing. It's really cool looking. He's going to try to roboticize it, and he has one night to do it. Tony Nicola is working on a Raspberry Pi camera project. It's 3D printed and it has IR LEDs. And basically he's trying to make an Internet of Things cat watcher because he wants to see what his cat is doing at night. So he's pointing at the food bowl to see when does his cat go and eat food and like when is she wandering around the apartment. So he's going to document that, but it's kind of interesting. We have photo support and Adafruit.io, so he'll be able to check also when he's out of the house how she's doing. The cat, that is. Known Pedro made a one-eyed, one-horned purple people eater doorbell.
No, tricky.
It's very tricky,
say.
and I don't even know this song. I mean, like I've kind of heard of it,
Yeah.
but it's a song from like the 50s. I do not know it, but you can go down YouTube. It's amazing now. Like you don't have to like find someone who knows it. You just go on YouTube and like somebody has a VHS tape that they digitized, and you can watch it. But they made a doorbell that's 3D printed, and it has Phil B's TFT eyeball that moves around, so it like looks really cool. And it's just a cute little tooth, and it's got like a UV horn, and it's got little flexy wings. And it's a doorbell that they're going to put on their door for this holiday Halloween weekend. So when the eyeball gets pushed, it closes its eyes and the doorbell will ring. So it's going to be like definitely the coolest house. And they better have good candy because all the kids are going to be coming by.
Yeah.
They get extra candy. Dee came on with another Halloween project. This is also a Phil B inspired project. It uses his LED matrix eyeballs, which are a little bit simpler and less expensive and to make because they only use LEDs, not a TFT. And she embroidered a skull, a Day of the Dead skull. With, it's a very intricate skull on a quilt, and then added NeoPixel sort of like a decorative flower decorative thing on the skull, and also the skull eyeballs move around. It's really cool. Check it out. Dee worked with her husband. They said it only took a couple hours. Tony Sherwood came by with his SID chip emulator synthesizer, which works. So yay, it finally works, and it's awesome. Aiden came by with a new soft actuator. He's been doing a lot of soft robotics. This week he made a super teeny one. He said it only took him a couple hours to prototype, and he's just doing precise, large, small actuators. C. Scott showed off the PCB for the Chrominius VCF VCA, and also some boards that he's been working on, including the Chrominius backplane and oscillators. So there's going to be a lot of something going on soon. And then at the last moment, Lon K came in, and he had a couple cool projects. He had an LED jack-o'-lantern with he just threw together like a Metro Arduino compatible NeoPixel ring and this reflector, and he just made it looks kind of like the jack-o'-lantern skull's on fire. And then he also made a foam hat that he's going to decorate. He's been doing a lot of EVA foam experimentations. Also going to put one of Phil B's TFT eyeballs, which is like a perfect Halloween project.
Yeah.
It's going to be forever. We're going to see these eyeballs in like projects for decades. They're awesome. And that was it. That was show and tell. It was great, Halloween themed.
All right.
Very enjoyable.
All participants on the show and tell will get an as seen on the show and tell sticker. Just email support@adafruit.com and we'll send you one out right away. To get on the show and tell, all you need to do is go to our Google Plus page and plus.google.com/plus_Adafruit. Look for the thread where Adabot says, hey, comment here to get added to the show and tell circle collection. We'll add you to the circle collection, and then also when it's time to broadcast a show and tell, which is 7:30 p.m. Eastern time every single week, we will post on that thread on our Google Plus page the link. And so if you don't get the invite because it's Google and whatever, don't panic. Go to Google Plus page and then click on that link, and you will be joining immediately. Okay. And we'll do this every week. So we'll see.
We're doing this every week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week around
Unless there's an emergency.
7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. Next up, I'm going to do 2 weeks of Mailbag, this packed Mailbag. These are the emails that we read to the entire company. We also read them to you, our community. This is from Fabio. I just received my order this weekend. I would like to thank you so much. Electronic design and hacking is so underrated, and you guys do a great job in helping those interested in getting started, that I just had to thank you. We live in a world which appreciation is hardly given even thought. We expected everything to be perfect. Personally, I believe I should do my part to improve this, so thank you. Keep up the awesome work. Hope to build something cool and send you someday. Best regards, Fabio. Thank you, Fabio.
Wow, Fabio, that's really nice. Thank you
Very
so
nice.
much. We appreciate it, and we appreciate all of your other letters.
Yeah.
All of your letters that you would send as well.
And
Viewers.
next up, this went to our customer support team. You have exceptional customer service. Kudos to you guys. Something rare to find nowadays with business. Regards, Roseanne. Thank you, Roseanne. So that's our 2 weeks. We are caught up.
If you're watching this and you're a customer, send nice notes. We like them.
All right, next up, Help Wanted. This is the Adafruit's jobs board. We post up jobs all the time, and so does everybody else. So if you're a cool company and you want to find makers to work for you,
engineers,
you post up.
hackers, people who do stuff with electronics, computers, technology, art, engineering.
And if you're one of those people and you want to post your skills up and have people find you, it works both ways. So we've been playing Matchmaker for a while. All the jobs are approved by Lady Ada and I.
But wait, how much does it cost for people to post? Is it free?
It is free.
That is awesome. And how much spam is there?
There is 0.
Great. Yeah. How can you say no? Go check it out. Hire somebody or get hired.
Okay. So this week, I thought this was relevant, so I tossed it in there. LED power supply for Halloween costume. Robert is looking for someone to help. He says, my son's Halloween costume has 12 blinking blue LEDs. Is powered by 3 15-volt batteries. The circuit board seems to be broke. What do you have that will supply the power to LEDs? I attached a picture of the circuit board, also attached a picture of the costume. The chest is the part that's not lighting up. Thank you. So this is someone who's just on the internet saying, I just want LED help. And that's kind of cool, because where else can you go on the internet and say something like that and know that people who can probably help will look out for you and help you. And it's probably going to pay this person. Whoever. Okay.
Somebody answer them. You only have 3 days.
Yeah. No rush. While we were out, one of the things that we did do is go to Comic-Con, so I wanted to show a little brief video of what Comic-Con was like. There was 160,000 people.
It was crowded.
And then I wanted to show just one example of one of the costumes that I thought was really cool, and we'll have more coverage up on the site soon. But here's a video with Lady Ada and I at Comic-Con.
Okay, hello, we are at Comic-Con 2015. As you can see, it is bonkers. We're touring Comic-Con, and what are we looking for, Lady Ada?
We're looking at booths and costume makers and makers who are doing their own stuff and showing off their own products or designs. So we're trying to focus on original makers and creators here at Comic-Con. We found a lot, and we're going to blog about them.
All right, so check the blog for people who make things that happen to be at Comic-Con. Bye-bye.
Okay, so we went in with a bunch of LEDs. We had our costume. We were looking at the Comic-Con through the lens of, I guess, the maker, which is who makes stuff. And so one of the cool things that we really like too is meeting people in costume and talking to them and figuring out how they made their costumes. And we have maybe about 20 or 30 really neat costumes that we saw. Yeah. But one of my favorites, this is Lieutenant Uhura.
This one, she had an amazing costume. She had a little ray gun. Cool. Yeah. She was posing, and it was like her costume was perfect, and like everyone was trying to get photos with her.
Yeah, and then the other cool costume was Ben Sisko from this was the character's name in Deep Space Nine. He was there dressed up, and then he saw Lieutenant Uhura, and then they got a photo together, and then you got a photo. So it's kind of neat. So, anyways, we have a bunch of photos of the costumes we're posting up soon.
Are they on the blog? They're going to be?
We're going to.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, now you know where to get them.
Yeah. So check out our coverage of Comic-Con. Okay, so open source hardware news. One of the things that's kind of cool is turns out it's a pretty good idea to be an open source hardware company. It's not as foolish as we were told. So one of the things that, again, while we were out, the video from our Atmel Micro Center tour is done. So I have a 53-second video. What we did is we went to Micro Center. Atmel has a semi-truck, and we use the Atmel processor for a lot of our open source hardware. So we have a brief video. It's about 50 seconds, and we'll show you what that is. Boop.
Having wearable and electronics combined is like a really great way to get people introduced to electronics.
Kids, fun, LEDs, all that stuff. Okay.
It was great. It was super fun, and they're at Microsoft. Are they still doing it? they're
Well,
still going,
Atmel does have the semi, and they go on tour, and
Okay.
just check the Atmel Twitter account,
Okay.
and they announce where they're at,
Yep.
depending on events and
Yeah,
whatever.
they were on the East Coast. They did Maker Faire. They did this event. It was awesome. I got to meet Henrik, who was
Yeah.
at ML. I don't know. I had a great time.
Okay, next up, we have a big milestone that we hit.
Okay. What is it?
900,000 orders.
Wow.
Yeah, so that happened last week as well. We were going to announce that on the show because it happened around Tuesday, I believe. And 900,000 orders. About 4 months ago, we hit 800,000. So internally here at the company, we have a prediction about when we think we're going to hit 1 million. It's coming up pretty soon.
What do you think?
Well, the odds are maybe January, maybe February. But I mean, I know.
We're chugging towards it.
Yeah, I mean, I know, but that's my job. So.
Is that the 20 years thing? That's what's happening 20 years? No.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do when we hit 1 million? That's massive.
We're going to ship it.
Well, yes, we'll ship the order.
We'll make a big deal.
Make a big deal? Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways.
Can we get glasses that say like 10000, like there's giant long glasses? Okay.
One of the things too is every time someone has hit one of those milestone orders, we've emailed them, and we've given them a gift certificate or whatever. And we also asked them, is it okay if we post what you ordered?
Yeah.
And like a general thing, like Bob from Florida,
Yeah.
whatever. And it's kind of neat to see all the different products over the course of the last few years. So. 900,000 orders.
Do you remember how long it took to get to the first 100,000? I think
It's all on the blog post.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
all
have,
on
but I don't have the blog post in front of me.
It's all on the blog
But
post.
it's definitely gotten shorter lately, right? I mean, like it's
Oh, yeah.
happening faster. We have because I know we have more distributors.
Yeah, it's going really fast.
But we still have about how many orders do we have a day? Just a rough idea, so people can maybe do some math at home.
Sure, you can assume we have 1,000-ish orders.
Okay, for a weekday.
Yeah, you can assume that's about what it is.
Okay, everybody, you start your
Yeah.
own draft pick betting pool. You can
Yeah.
pick which products are on your team or something, and then you can
Yeah.
bet on when it's going to hit 1 million.
We are also flipping to another thing. Is there was a point where I had shipped the most orders, like most orders were shipped by me.
Yeah.
That's not true anymore.
Oh, no.
Absolutely impossible.
No, by far.
But for a while, because I was just me doing shipping.
Yeah.
I had shipped the most orders. I think I still have the most blog posts, but that's changing now soon too.
Really?
Yep. All right. Next up.
As times have changed.
Next up, congratulations, Lady Ada. You got an Entrepreneur 360 Award, Best Entrepreneur Companies in the U.S. So Entrepreneur is starting to rank companies based on cause, in addition to being a good business. So there was like 10 or 15 companies ranked. Adafruit is the second highest in revenue, and you're in the top 10 for all the companies. It just means they looked at a company, how do you treat the employees? How do you treat your customers? How do you do things for the world? So it's a very small list of companies, and Adafruit's one of them.
We treat people
Yeah.
with kindness, fairness, generosity.
Yeah, we try.
It's one of the nice things about running your own company is you don't have to do what some MBA says and like, oh, well, get everybody on part-time and take away all their benefits.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people that we talk to that when they visit Adafruit and they look around and they see what we do and how we do it, they're completely horrified because we put our people and our customers first, and we don't put things like our exit strategy first.
Yeah.
And I think they're a little horrified. Marketers are completely allergic to the idea of Adafruit because we don't take sponsorship or advertising or lots of other. We don't spam people. And they're like, well, you have 900,000 orders. Why don't you spam all of those customers?
Yeah.
So we don't do that. Anyways,
Nope.
So that means you get an award. Next up, we announced this. Adafruit is now carried on Monoprice. If you happen to buy stuff from Monoprice, a lot of people do.
Yep, they have a STEM section. It's actually
Yep.
kind of neat. Check it out. It's not. They're experimenting with starting with just kits. They have like some of our Pi kits there.
Yeah.
And some components. Obviously, they have cables and
Yeah.
bigger Raspberry Pis, but all the other neat stuff like hats for
Yeah.
Raspberry Pis or Arduino shields.
They're stocking up.
It's not a bad idea. Go check it out.
Okay. Next up, just because we had our friends from Fluke out, I wanted to mention this. If you didn't know, we have all of the popular things that you like from Fluke on the site, and these are real, genuine multimeters and more from Fluke. I'm going to say this.
Say it.
Fluke isn't the cheapest multimeter you can get.
It is not.
However, it's the best.
That's not very. That's a crazy statement. I mean, people.
No, but it's not the cheapest one, but it is the best. Everyone agrees.
They are really excellent
Yeah.
multimeters, and we carry budget multimeters as well. if you're a student and obviously you're not going to be able to. You're in high school, you can't spend $200, $300 on a multimeter. Go pick up, the $15, $10 one. However, and then we have a couple of ones that are like closer to $70 because they have more stuff. However, if you're a professional or you're an electrician or you need precision or you need quality or you need something that won't get destroyed, like Fluke meters last decades. I mean, my engineer friends who've had their Fluke multimeters passed down from a generation. It's kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
But like their parents had one and they got one. They got it and when they went to school to MIT. These things last forever. They are the best multimeters.
Yeah. So I'm gonna
get your boss to buy you one.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. So, when you're doing holiday shopping, if you're giving a gift for someone, this is like one of the nice things. You don't have to even get it from Adafruit, but like it is one of the things. Like, wow, a Fluke multimeter. It's something people will use every day. I like giving gifts to someone that they'll use a lot, and every time they see it on their desk, they're happy.
Well,
Anyways.
for when we first got the ability, many years ago, we first got the ability to carry Mitsutoyo calipers because we got permission to sell those.
Yeah.
That was our go-to gift. And those are also expensive. I mean, most people don't blow $150 on calipers.
Yeah.
But Mitsutoyo calipers are like so worth it.
Yeah.
The difference between those and like, there's no comparison.
Yeah,
Like
they're
I
that
use
good.
mine every single day,
Okay.
like 10 times. I should just attach it to my hand.
All right, moving right along.
Right.
In case you're wondering, Hackaday just updated their store at store.hackaday.com. They have the little ESP8266 is in the store, and they're Hackaday branded, identical to the ones we have at Adafruit.
Yes.
Just Hackaday branded. If you want a little bit of history, I designed the Hackaday logo. I started the Hackaday site. I worked up the logo, and then Bruce and I at Adafruit updated the Adafruit logo. Adafruit is Lady Ada's company, and so there's a little bit of everything in this. If you're into electronics with more than just a circuit board, there's a little story behind it. And speaking of, I told the Hackaday folks I'd help get the word out. So if you're in San Francisco, November 14th to 15th, Hackaday is doing a super conference. And this is interesting to me because when I started Hackaday, I had a roadmap for 10 years of what I thought the site
I have a
could
question.
be.
When you were at Hackaday, did Maker Faire exist yet?
No.
So this is pre.
No, Make didn't exist.
Yeah. This is more than 10 years ago then. This is like 12 years ago,
Yeah.
13, okay.
Yeah, and what I did is I had this Hackaday manifesto of where I wanted the site to go. And what's interesting is between Make Magazine, which when I retired from Hackaday and I helped start Make and did the online blog and a lot of the stuff that's still running, there were some check boxes. Like Maker Faire was a big deal. At Adafruit, we do a lot of stuff that I wanted to see Hackaday do and also Make do. And so it's neat to watch Hackaday get to some of those things. So they're going to have a conference. It's going to be cool. So if you're in San Francisco, check it out. They have some good speakers. If you like Paul Stofferson, who does Teensy, he's going to be there.
We're going to mention the Teensy
Yeah,
later.
Fran's there. Like there's a lot of
Great people.
Yeah, there's
also,
a lot of interesting.
I know that there's even more people. I know Tony Kay from SparkFun's going to be there. She's
Yeah.
giving a talk about open source hardware. And I think with GitHub, I don't remember the name of it, and other awesome people. So if you're in San Francisco, and a lot of you are, go. Seriously, I would go if I was anywhere near there.
Yeah. Okay. But
it's coming up soon.
But anyways, good work, and big ups to Sophie, who's doing a good job with all the conference stuff that I saw, and Mike and the team there. Okay. Next up, Arduino. We have some news. We are still shipping Arduinos. The Arduinos are made here in the USA. We're very proud of that. They're made by us, gothy people with angst. We cannot say the number of Arduinos we ship, but we can say we are shipping a lot. And we just shipped a lot today. A lot.
Oh yeah, lot.
We shipped a ginormous amount of Arduinos today.
It is an order of magnitude more than usual.
Okay. All right. Next
Actually, 2 or 3 orders of magnitude.
Tutorials, 863.
I love how don't change it. I love that it's like a little teeny thing.
Yeah.
We are chugging towards 900.
1,000.
Actually, it'd be cool if we could keep the number of orders in parity with the number of tutorials. Like 900,000 tutorials. Maybe
Just write 37 more tutorials tonight, Lady Ada.
Well, I have like 2 more in me. I gotta
okay.
do that. We have a lot of Adafruit IO tutorials.
So I have some tutorials this week on the big board. Talk your Bluetooth collar. This is a video that we're going to show in a few minutes.
This is
from
awesome.
Becky Stern. This is
Phil B, Becky Stern, and Olive.
Yeah. Next
Together.
up, we've got
This is the
Pixie.
tutorial for the Pixie new product. It's a 3-watt smart LED, chainable LED. I will show it off. It is incredibly bright. This just has some design documents, assembly, how to use it, their library, how to talk to them, all that good stuff. Just a product tutorial.
Okay. Next up.
Ooh, this one's a good one. This is a portable kind of tablet, DIY tablet you can make with the Raspberry Pi 7-inch TFT. So the Raspberry Pi Foundation has their own capacitive multi-touch TFT that they've released, and this basically lets you take a Pi 2, their display, a battery, and a PowerBoost 1000. You can make a portable tablet using the battery that they're using. I think you can get like 2 or 3 hours. You can of course put a bigger battery in. We have larger ones that'll let you go for like 8, 9 hours. Basically a DIY tablet with capacitive multi-touch and 3D printing. Awesome.
All right. Next up, this is using IFTT, which is also known as if then this that, for an Adafruit I/O to make a door detector.
Yep, this is a project from Todd Treese, and we released it last week. Todd's been working on Adafruit I/O, and this is a demo of using if this and that, which we've added integration. If this and that is basically like a tie together, like a software API glue. So if you're using Adafruit I/O, so for example, you have like a door sensor, and you have your ESP8266 and it uploads to Adafruit I/O and says the door's open. Well, you don't necessarily want to have your ESP8266 send you email. Instead, you just want to update Adafruit I/O, and then using if this and that, you can attach it to your Adafruit account, Adafruit I/O account, and then you can have it SMS to you or text you or tweet or whatever. So basically, it lets you do all that API interaction for all the services like Twilio and Google Calendar and like weather stuff, everything. It lets you tie those together. So it's really useful. Instead of writing your code yourself for Twitter interaction, just use if this and that. They do it for you.
Okay.
And it's free.
All right, next up. This is the Android Smart Mirror. We just released this today. Becky did a really cool project where it's a mirror that you can kind of see through.
It's like half silvered, yeah.
Yeah, and you can have a tablet interface that's doing things to help you, like weather and whatever other things that you might want to have as like ambient information coming through. So cool project. We're going to show the video tonight, but anyways, that's the last tutorial on our 863 tour.
I gotta go write 37.
Okay, Adafruit comic book reading list. We've had a couple in the last couple of weeks. This is the latest one for this week. This is a special one for Halloween. This is once again from Zay in shipping, who's been on a tear with comic book posts. This one is Hellblazer by Jamie Delano, and he says, what scares you? I mean, what really scares you if you're Jamie Delano and it's the 1980s, then what really scares you is Margaret Thatcher's England, which is good for comic readers because it's still scary.
This looks pretty scary.
Yeah.
I've heard, you know what's funny is the comics that,
That's
there's two of
weird.
it. Whoa, spooky.
Hi.
All the comics that Zay has recommended have actually been on my like to-do list, and it's like frustrating. It's like, oh, like I haven't read all of Love and Rockets, but I want to.
Yeah.
So check it out. It's a great list.
Okay.
Excellent comics.
All right, next up, time travel. We're going back in the world of makers, hackers, artists, engineers, people who are the first of something, people who break down barriers and more. This one's kind of cool. I like this one a lot for a couple of reasons. Happy birthday. This is the date. Normally we have the birthdays of the people. This is the date. In 1954, Ben Davis Jr. becomes the first African-American general in the United States Air Force. So 1954, first time U.S. Air Force gets African-American general. Now what's cool about Ben
what's cool about it
is he followed in his father's footsteps. His dad, Ben Davis Sr., was the first African-American general in the U.S. Army.
Cool.
That's pretty cool. So both of them were the
he was
first.
commandeer of the 99th Fighter Squadron and the 332nd Fighter Group.
Yeah. I think that's cool when you have legacy like that.
That's cool. 60 missions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Intense. So
That's hardcore.
So that's
I can't even go on like a commercial flight. So this person's a hero to
you
me.
get kind of car sick.
I'm just taking an elevator.
Yeah. All right. So anyways, really cool story because in addition to his achievement, he's carrying on something that his dad, so first in Army and then first in
Dude, a
Air
lot
Force.
of pressure for his kids.
Yeah, you got. Sorry, guys. You got to do
You
something.
have to do something really amazing.
You got to do something first. Okay. Next up, wearables. So we have 3 videos, and I'm going to go through them really fast. This is a cosplay video with Noah and Pedro. Take it away.
have it Hatsumi 2015 here at Murakami Japanese Garden. A lot of cool stuff, a lot of cosplayers. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Be sure to subscribe and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Alrighty, more wearable videos. So we're not going to stop. We're just going to roll in so we can get through all the new products. Here is a Maker Faire video with Sally.
Hey, Sally.
Hey, Becky.
It is so nice to see you here at Maker Faire.
It's wonderful to be here.
This year, they have you in the dark LED room, and I really think it does your work a lot of justice. How do you feel being here?
I really like it. I was afraid nobody would be able to see the newer stuff, but they can. It's bright. It shines.
Can you tell me what you've got going on here in terms of demos?
Well, I call it the soft circuit petting zoo. It's a lot of sensors, and it's examples of various kinds of soft circuits. This is the color sensor and the felt squares so that you can change the color.
Okay, so it's checking the color. Red.
It's red. This is the sound sensor, the amplitude. It's just the amplitude.
It's an ampli arrow.
Ampli arrow, and a little shorter than the amplitude. It's like 13 neopixels. And this is a gesture sensor, which I guess Adafruit now has one of, but this is the SparkFun one.
Okay, so it's like an optical flow thing?
Yeah, well, yeah. Because if I do that and then that, and then the final sensor one is the light. That was actually the hardest, but I actually went on the forums, and Bill in support was a blessing because we'd missed a couple things, so we fixed it. This is the Moon Lotus coat. It's a coat I got in a thrift shop, and I decided to put a lotus on it and light it up. And that one is Amanda made that.
Amanda made it, yeah.
But the party was the Fire and Light soiree, so that's fire. And it's multiple jewels and a 24 pixel ring, I believe. And it's hard to describe, but we used wire through the holes in the jewels and used those as contacts underneath, and then wired to those.
What is the most common questions you've been getting asked here at Maker Faire this year or any year?
How do you wash it?
I know, that was the first question that I got asked at my talk too. How do you wash that thing?
Carefully. But yeah, some people come up with actually very specific questions. There's all kinds of stuff people want to do, and I love talking about what they want to do and how to do it.
Nice. Well, you're a saint, Sally, and your work is gorgeous. Thank you so much for showing off your Adafruit hardware, of course, again, but also for your creativity and endless enthusiasm.
Oh, I'm having a blast. Thank you. Thank you all, everybody.
All right, we are not even close to being done with the wearable videos to catch up. Next up, talking to dog collar. Just gonna go right in. Boom.
Coming up, we'll make a talking dog collar you can control with your phone.
I can spell you. I do ever so want the ball. Squirrel.
This fun Halloween project is a collaboration with Phil B, and it uses the Adafruit Bluefruit Micro as well as an audio FX board inside a leather and 3D printed collar reminiscent of Doug's collar from the movie Up. Naturally, we've got a step-by-step guide including a circuit diagram, sample code, and even the 3D files for what Phil calls Wearables, the cool little bits you used to have to search for at surplus stores, all on the Adafruit Learning System. Look for a link in the description. This is one of those projects that's really handy to prototype first on a solderless breadboard if you can dedicate the extra set of parts. That way when you're building everything into the collar, you'll have a working design for reference.
Hi there.
Load the Arduino sketch onto the Bluefruit Micro. It takes button inputs from the Bluefruit LE app for Android and iOS, then triggers sound samples stored on the Audio FX board through a mono amp and a thin plastic speaker.
I can spell you.
There's also one always-on LED for the map screen and one LED for the talking light. Desolder the wires from the speaker and add new, longer ones that face in rather than out. The speaker then press fits into the dome and the wires thread through the collar. Don't glue it down just yet. Same goes for the talking light. Solder on long wire leads to a red LED sequin and thread them through the collar. The brains of the operation live in this little round pouch, carefully stacked with foam tape and as little excess wire as possible. The 3 AAA battery pack lives in this faux tracking screen pouch, which also gets an LED sequin. We chose an alkaline pack since they're safer for beginners than li-poly batteries, key for projects involving pets. Once you've tested the circuit in the collar, you can glue everything down with E6000 craft adhesive. Optionally add a strip of fabric or leather to the inside to protect the wires from snagging, and let dry for a full day before testing it out on your canine companion.
I can smell you! My master made me this collar so that I may talk.
Thanks so much for watching. If you're looking for more Halloween ideas, check out our playlist in the description, and don't forget to subscribe for more wearable electronics from Adafruit.
I have just met you, and I love you.
All right.
All right.
Are we done yet?
Nope. It's now time for the Android mirror.
Okay.
Here we go. We're going to keep going.
In this week's project, we're going to build a smart home mirror using an Android tablet and some two-way mirror plastic, so you can get a heads up on your day ahead before you leave the house. I found this project on GitHub by Hannah Mitt, and since I've never done any Android development before, it's a fun place to start. I downloaded the Android development software for my computer and proceeded to follow the instructions about how to load in an app. The trickiest part for me was making sure I had the right SDKs installed for the version of Android I was running and getting that connection going. Once I updated the firmware on my Android tablet and I had all the right SDKs installed, the program just ran, and it was super fun and satisfying. This is a great project to do with an older Android device that you're not really using for anything currently, and it can show you the date, the time, the weather, your stocks, and even the latest XKCD. You can find two-way mirror plastic online or at your local plastic store, and they'll usually cut it to size for you, or you can laser cut a more fun design. To install the mirror in your house, just use double-sided tape to stick the Android tablet to one corner of your two-way mirror plastic, and then cover the rest of the mirror plastic in a dark material like black construction paper. Then just mount it on your wall with a power supply running to a wall outlet, and set your display preferences to never turn the display off while the device is plugged in. Then you've got a smart mirror for your entryway at your house that'll give you the critical info right before you leave. Thanks for watching. Thanks Hannah for developing this fun project that you can find on GitHub, and subscribe for more project videos from Adafruit.
Okay, but we're done now. We must be done.
Well, a little bit of a reminder, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time is Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern, the
Awesome.
best, longest running wearable electronics show in the world. And now we're going to get on to 3D printing.
Zoop, zoop, zoop.
Yep.
3D printing.
So we're catching up. We have 2 videos, one from last week, one from this week. Take it away, Noah and Pedro.
In this project, we're building a portable Raspberry Pi using a 7-inch touch display with 3D printing and DIY electronics. This is the official 7-inch multi-touch display from the Raspberry Pi Foundation. It features a really nice IPS display and includes the drivers to work with the Raspberry Pi 2. Our 3D printed enclosure gives you access to all the ports without having to stack all of the boards on top of each other. You can pick up the parts to build your own at adafruit.com. The 3D printed enclosure is easy to print and it doesn't require any support material. The frame is mounted to the back of the display by attaching the tabs to the edge of the screen. The inner framing uses the mounting tabs on the back of the display and spreads the boards out to keep the overall design slim and compact. To cut down on space, we can solder connections for power and ground directly to the pins instead of using the included jumper cables. The battery is kept aligned with an adjustable bracket and held in place using a zip tie. It simply mounts on top of the driver board using a set of M3 screws. Use 26 gauge silicone coated stranded wires to connect the power and ground directly to the GPIO pins on the Raspberry Pi. We used a 200mm ribbon cable and carefully conformed it to connect the display to the driver. Close up the enclosure with the printed cover using a set of number 256 screws. And now we have ourselves a small portable computer at our fingertips. The 2500 mAh battery lasts a little over 2 hours, and the rechargeable circuit is super handy when you need to use it for extended time. So what would you use this mini computer for? Let us know in the comments below, and if you build one, we'd love to see it on our weekly show and tell. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more DIY projects every week from Adafruit.
But wait, there's more. So in a special Halloween edition of Ask an Engineer, which is kind of tonight, we have the Purple People Eater video.
It's the one-eyed, one-horned.
Yeah, one-eyed, one-horned Purple People Eater with purple filament and Ninja Flex.
Yep.
All right, so here we go.
Let's go.
Coming up, we're building this. It's a This cute and creepy Halloween project is a collaboration with Phil B. It uses the teensy microcontroller and a TFT display inside of 3D printed parts to make an animatronic eye doorbell. You can get the parts and full tutorial to build this project from the Adafruit learning system. The parts will fit on most 3D printers and will require some support material. The wings will work best in TPE filament like this purple colored Ninja Flex. Using support material will help print overhangs and is actually pretty easy to remove with your bare hands. You can of course download and modify the parts for free, which is linked below. Use E6000 adhesives to permanently glue the two face halves together. Use a toothpick to spread the glue and be sure to let the parts dry for several hours. To make the circuit, we'll start off by connecting a slide switch to the LiPo backpack. We'll solder wires to the teensy board and connect them to the LiPo backpack for powering and easy charging. Before connecting wires to the TFT display, we'll add solder to the pins, trim off the connectors from a ribbon cable, and solder them to the pins on the back of the display. Now we can solder these wires from the display to the teensy microcontroller following the circuit diagram, which is linked below. We'll use a UV LED to illuminate the unicorn horn. Trim the leads short and connect one wire to each lead, and then solder the wires to the teensy board. Once we have most of the components connected, we'll upload Phil B's sketch to the Teensy using the Arduino IDE. We'll use a 16mm push button to activate the winking function and mount it to the back panel. A second push button can be mounted and will be used to trigger the doorbell. We'll need to connect the wires from the push button to the Teensy board. Now we can test the circuit by pressing the button to make the eye blink. Place the display over the two push buttons. Insert the unicorn through the hole on the top of the face piece. Fit the UV LED into the opening of the horn and glue it in place. Lay the wings over the side of the panel and press them down to hold them in place. An acrylic cabochon rests over the display and it's held in place when the two parts are joined together. We can insert and fasten number 440 screws to the back panel while holding the two parts together. And now we're ready to install the doorbell. Common household doorbells are mounted with two screws, so we can remove it by using a screwdriver and replace it with the 3D printed mounting plate. Carefully connect the two wires from the doorbell to the second push button and stick it to the mounting plate. Flip the switch underneath the chin and watch it become alive. And now we have a one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater doorbell, just in time for Halloween. So pressing the eye will actuate the two push buttons, triggering both the winking function and ringing the doorbell, making a very creepy yet cute animatronic Halloween prop.
Alright, so there you have it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you're looking for more Halloween ideas, be sure to check out our playlist linked below. And don't forget to subscribe for more 3D printing projects from Adafruit. I'll see you guys next time.
Next up, we have one last thing with 3D printing. Don't forget 3D Thursday.
Every Thursday,
Tomorrow.
3 p.m.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
3 p.m. tomorrow.
3D Hangouts.
Okay.
The best, the only live 3D printing show every week.
Okay, I'm gonna go over one little bit of Pi news, just because it came up. There is mutant Pis now possible. The Raspberry Pi customized mutants set to spread. So the maker of the Raspberry Pi computer, they're allowing third parties to develop customized versions of a bare bones PC. Basically, you'll be able to take all the stuff that's a Raspberry Pi and kind of spin it,
Yeah,
respin it.
I think the idea is like, let's say you want, less RAM, or you want a different connector, or you want some connectors removed, or you want like whatever, it's like that kind of stuff. I think that's kind of your easiest bet. Like you want to change out some components to be a little bit different, especially like removing connectors. Like if you want to embed it in something, and like you only want one USB port, or you don't want the Ethernet jack, or you want the Ethernet jack but no USB, whatever. That's your best bet. But apparently they're also willing to entertain like a customized computer. Like you can extend it, add more stuff, different Ethernet driver, whatever. We'll see. I mean, I think for industrial applications, that's probably a good bet.
Okay. Before we get started with new products, lady, don't forget the code is FlexMatrix all the way up till 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight.
I hope we get right in FlexMatrix.
You can get 10% off in the Adafruit store.
Everything but software and gift certificates.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do new products. You're going to do this thing.
New.
Yeah.
New.
All right. First up on the big board.
Yep.
Is Teensy.
This is a Teensy 3.2. The 3.2 is backwards compatible with the 3.1. I think the biggest change that occurred is I think one more pin is broken out in the bottom, and the regulator has been upgraded to be like a beefy, I think like 500 milliamp output regulator. People were, the previous 3.3 volt regulator was like I think 100 milliamp or something. And so when people tried to plug it into like a Wi-Fi module like an ESP8266, it was sad. And so he beefed it up, and now it's just a big regulator. Otherwise, it is backwards compatible.
Yeah, it comes with the same type of card you've known to love and trust.
Yeah.
And it's there. It's probably one of the best little microcontroller boards out there.
It is fast. It's we use it for projects where we need the DMA. It's kind of the basis for what became the Fade Candy. If you're already had Arduino experience and you want to take it to the next level, Teensy's where it's at. Okay, next up. It's a UFL connector that's connected to a Wi-Fi antenna. This is a little mini Wi-Fi antenna, great for use with our UFL Wi-Fi boards like the CC3000 and many future Wi-Fi boards that are not being discussed yet.
I bet you're putting in some Wi-Fi boards in soon that would use this. I bet that's what's happening.
Maybe, but you can also use it with ones that exist, like we have the CC3000 Shield. So this will let you give a little bit more gain than the chip antenna, and it's not big and clunky. So this is kind of an intermediary. Like you don't want a little chip antenna, and you don't want those gigantic rubber duck antennas. Instead, you have like a UFL to little PCB. So it's flexible. You can fit into enclosure.
Okay. Next up.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, we've got some fun things here. So.
It's FlexMatrix time.
Yeah.
Let's show a video of the FlexiMatrix.
Yeah, this is cool.
Okay, it's like great nails too. So we have had flexible matrices for NeoPixel matrices. Now we have dot star matrices. So dot star LEDs are very similar to NeoPixels. They still have they're the same shape, 5 millimeters by 5 millimeters, and inside there's a chip that controls the LED. So you only have to kind of send it data once. It does the PWM for you. These use 2 wires, not 1, so you get data and clock. That means you don't have to be as careful about the clock timing. Also, the LEDs have much, much higher PWM, so there's not as much dithering. You can get dim colors. They look a little bit better. Great for when you have chips that don't have the NeoPixel timing or the NeoPixel library is important to them. Or you just want like a higher quality pixel with much higher refresh rate as well, because you can clock these at like 8 megahertz or something. So I have the live demo here. I'm going to show it, but basically very similar to the video that you saw. Just give me a second. Well, of course now it's...
No, we have a video.
Hold on. So this is the matrix. Okay, here you go. So yeah, this is, it's on a flexible PCB backing, and this is I think the most fun one. It's 8 by 16. We also have a gigantic 16 by 16 and an itsy bitsy 8 by 8, and on the back you have 2 connectors, input and output, and you have an extra set of ground wires if you need them. So the deal is with the flexible matrices, and I tell these every time we introduce them, is while it is flexible, it's not meant for repeated flexing, and it's not meant for like intense flexing. So like what I'm doing here, that's kind of what we suggest, and like you flex it to a shape, and then you set it. So it's good for like maybe wearables or stuff that might move. But it's not meant for like you're flexing it back and forth constantly, because eventually it will crack. The PCB material, it's not meant for, it's not silicone, it's not meant for continuous bending. So it's a warning. We don't offer refunds or replacements if you flex it and crack it.
Okay. So the other things that we have are kind of, bigger versions.
Yeah, this is the 16 by 16.
Yeah, so we have a 16 by 16, which is really nice.
Huge. And yeah, each LED is individually addressable. We have an Arduino library, and it's very easy because it's just a bitbang SPI. It's very, very easy to port to any microcontroller. So especially if you're not using something with the NeoPixel library, this is like SPI. You literally just like clock out with the clock line and the data line what you want the colors to be, and they just do it.
Yeah.
Very easy.
And just to show you some photos of it without it being bent and lit up, we have that as well.
Yep.
Okay, next one, a longer one.
Yeah, this is the first one I demoed. It's 8 by 32.
Yeah.
If I said 16, I'm wrong. It's 8 by 32. So it's the same number of pixels as 16 by 16, but just longer. This one I think would be fun for like scrolling messages and stuff. So, and it works with our graphics library, so it's easy to draw on it.
Yeah. Okay. And again, some photos of it in action and not in action. No, I know. I have to show both. And
next
then
up,
the next one is these little pixies.
These are little, but they're powerful. These are, if you like NeoPixels or dot stars, you're like, okay, well, you have these little 50, 5 millimeter or 5 millimeter LEDs. And they use about like 0.02 watts each. These are 3 watt LEDs. So these are mind-blowingly bright LEDs, and they also have basically a chainable design. They don't use the NeoPixel protocol. They use UART serial. So you just send the data as, basically serial writes, and you write the data. And I'll just hold this up just to show how incredibly bright they are. These little pixels are, 3 watt LED on one side and then a microcontroller on the other. And then you can chain as many as you want. Just be aware that each LED can use 3 watts. That's up to an amp each. So if you're going to power it, you need a really good, powerful, about 4 to 5 volt supply. But if you want extremely bright LEDs in a small package, this is definitely for you. And this is designed by Itai Ben-Zvi, who has done a bunch of other stuff with like the Yo-Yo processor. And he kind of said, like, hey, like a year ago, he's like, oh, I have this project to make these smart LEDs. And I'm like, let's do it. And I think we kind of came up with the best and brightest, literally, LED. And for like the price of normally what you get an LED, you don't need a buck converter, and you don't need any special circuitry. It's all in one. You give it 5 volts data, and you're rocking. So even if you don't want to chain them, it's still the easiest way to get a ridiculously bright LED going.
Yeah.
So yeah, see if I can blow this out. Yeah, now we're talking. Spaceship's coming for you.
I like when all this comes together because, I've never seen an electronics show live on the internet that shows all this stuff, working demos and stuff lit up. Anyways, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
And all these cool videos.
These cool effects. It's actually kind of messing with the camera because all the CCD is just like getting too activated.
Yeah.
That's neat. Okay.
Okay. So next up, we do have some other LEDs. And you wanted to...
Unending LEDs.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are RGBW LEDs. They're red, green, blue, and then you're like, what is that weird, like hemispherical, like egg yolk thing? That's a yellow, a yellow phosphor for a white LED. So these are basically NeoPixels, but they have white as well. And this allows you to get a very pure, clean white color. If you've ever tried mixing red, green, blue LEDs together, you'll notice that you can't quite get a pure white. You'll always get it be kind of like a bluish, kind of off-white. Because these have a true white LED in them, they look fantastic. And the white LED is incredibly bright as well. So we have these in 3 different plastic colors. Sorry, 2 plastic colors and 3 color temperatures. So we have, this white plastic with red, green, blue, and then warm white, neutral white, and cool white. So I think this one's a neutral white. You can kind of get the reflection, you can tell. I mean, definitely when they're lit up, you can tell. The cool white is like a fluorescent white color. This is the cool white because the yellow is a little lighter, you can kind of tell. Yeah. So the white is more, you can see here, the white is cool colored, like a fluorescent daylight color. Neutral is kind of a medium color, and then warm white is kind of candlelight-y or incandescent. This is RGBW warm white, but it has a black plastic top.
Yeah.
So this might be good if you have like a black PCB and you want it just like it doesn't cost anything else. It's the same price, so it just gets you a little bit more of a fade into the background effect if you have a black PCB this is against. So again, you have the neutral white, and you can see it fade into this kind of natural white color, and then we have the cool white, which is like this bluish white effect. So we have 6 total versions.
Yeah.
3 with the black top, 3 with the white top, natural, cool, warm. And then you get them as a pack of 10 each, and they come in a strip. And the deal is that if you are using these, you solder them onto a board as a 5050 LED. We have them in our EagleCAD library. You do have to have a NeoPixel library that has added white support because you have to have that extra byte sent out because it's not just red, green, blue. It's red, green, blue, white. So there's an extra 8 bits. The NeoPixel library that Adafruit has written supports it. I'm just letting you know if you're using somebody else's library, I can't control that. The Arduino library absolutely does work with it. You just, when you create the NeoPixel object, you just say RGBW.
Yeah, good work. I'm really impressed with the selection, quality, and the entire range of LEDs that we now have.
This is like an LED wonderland.
Yeah, and I also like that, sometimes aesthetics matter, and the fact that you have ones for black PCBs or specific things. A lot of people believe LED is art, and circuit boards are art, so this is really good.
Yeah, it's not the full thing isn't black, but it helps a little bit.
It's close enough.
Like, for example, we're probably going to have our NeoPixel rings. They'll be remade with black because it helps a little bit.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up. Okay.
This is a SimSysDep adapter board from ArmStart. Oh, can you click over to actually this photo?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks. Okay, because it's a three-piece set. You get the thing at the top, which is a JTAG 2x10, 0.1 inch to 0.05 2x5 adapter. So it's a SWD JTAG adapter. And then below that, right here, is a SimSysDep board. And I think it's based on the LPC 11U 35. So it's a NXP processor, Cortex chip, and it does SimSysDep. So if you're using an Arduino or an AVR, you're probably used to having an AVR programmer, a thing that you plug into that 2x3 connector and it programs the AVR with that code. Or if you're using a PIC and you have the PIC start, you have that 5-pin connector with mClear and clock data ground, whatever. So if you're using Cortex processors, or ARM Cortex processors, you've probably experienced or had to have a chance to use SimSysDep. SimSysDep is this kind of overall Cortex. SimSys stands for something. Basically, it's a debugging and programming. I think that's what DAP stands for, debug and program interface. So this allows you to interface with, I think, every Cortex processor and program it direct from your IDE using the programmer, and also do step debugging using the debug tool for your chip. I don't guarantee it works with every chip, but if your chip needs SimSysDep, and I believe every Cortex chip does, M0 and M3 at least, then this tool is great. It's a very fair price. You can also reprogram the chip. It comes with all sorts of code and stuff. But yeah, this is great. We're doing a lot more stuff with ARM Cortex processors, so this is handy.
Yeah.
So you get the adapter, the SimSysDep board, and I think it uses the NXP released basically example code for this chip for SimSysDep. It's just running that. Okay.
All right, Lady Ada, we are almost at the end here.
Okay, we now have a bunch of photo, video, audio, video adapters, and these are suggested by Noah and Pedro, who do so many projects that connect to or use photo, video stuff. So this is a 3/8 inch to 1/4 inch screw adapter. Basically lets you turn something that would normally take a 3/8 inch screw and let it take a 1/4 inch screw. This is great for tripods and photo adapters, and it's like a tripod or something. Yeah. But what it's really handy for, what they use it for, is when they 3D print something and they want to be able to attach it to a tripod after it's done. Like they have a camera photo light or something. They 3D print and then they screw this in because it has big threads in it, so it grabs into the 3D print, and that way they have a really strong mount for the 1/4 inch. So they kind of use it as a shim. Yeah. But you can also use it as an adapter.
Okay, next up.
This is a hot shoe mount adapter from 1/4 inch. So if you have something that has a 1/4 inch screw on it, this has a hole in it that would accept a 1/4 inch screw, and then it turns into basically hot shoe. So if you have stuff that has a hot shoe mount, which is very true, like a lot of lights and monitors and things, they would normally snap into your camera hot shoe, but maybe you want to attach it to something else. This basically adapts 1/4 inch to hot shoe.
Okay, next up.
This is the bottom of the pan tilt. So this is, for example, something that uses hot shoe. So this is a pan tilt adapter. Normally it's attached to the hot shoe of a camera, for example, here. And there's a little key on the bottom, on the side, and you turn it and it makes it this ball mount movable, and you can move it around. It basically allows you to attach something. It's the other way around. It allows you to attach something that normally would use a 1/4 inch screw to a hot shoe mount.
Okay, let's keep going.
And it can move either way. This is a 1/4-inch screw, which is like a basic photo screw used for attaching all sorts of stuff in photography and videography. But what's nice about this is it has, not only can you use it with like a coin, but it has this little flip-up thing that, this little D that flips up. It has a nice notch so you can easily flip it. And then you can rotate the screw very easily. So like, when you're kind of juggling like 15 cameras and lights and stuff, you can easily attach it using your hands. You don't need to get a coin or a screwdriver.
Okay. Next up.
And then, this is it. That's it attached to something, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't
and then
know.
we have this additional screw.
And then finally, this is a 1/4-inch to 1/4-inch adapter. This is something if you have a. Whoop, can you go back one? Yeah, that's photo. If you have something that takes 1/4-inch and you want to attach it to something that also takes 1/4-inch, like you want to adapt between the two, which is pretty common because usually things don't have a sticky out part. So this takes 2 sticky in parts and lets you attach them together.
Okay. That was a lot of stuff. Congratulations, Lady Ada. You got 3 new products.
Yay! New.
Yeah.
New.
All right. Anything that you see that's in stock that you can add to your cart right now, you can use the code FlexMatrix and get 10% off. Reminder: we don't take ad sponsorships. We don't have bank loans or venture capital. We met someone who burned through a whole bunch of venture capital, and the entire company.
Amazing amounts.
Company is gone, and they had to lay off like 500 people. And
he's like, "Oh, mistakes were made." And I'm
mistakes
like,
were
okay,
made. Yeah.
cool.
So, anyways, so what we do is we are supported by you, the customer, and that's why
we're very thankful.
That's why well, you know what? If we weren't, we wouldn't do a show for 6 years. We wouldn't do all this stuff because, like, you would do other things. We actually do nothing else in this.
That's it.
Yeah. On some nights we do Ask an Engineer, and when we go home we do From the Desk of Lady Ada.
That's right.
But tonight we're just
maybe tomorrow.
Tonight we're gonna eat some food.
Okay, I'm hungry.
So just a quick reminder too. In addition to the code, we also have our free deals. So trinkets, per trinkets, permaprotos, and free UPS ground. We got all that going on. So that's all the new products. We're gonna do a speed round of just a few questions while we wrap
Super
up here.
fast.
So start typing your questions in to the chat. We'll get to them, and then we'll do a trivia question, and then we're gonna grab some food. So one of the questions that someone had is they're getting started with DIY, and they wanted to know what's a good project if they just want to start making something. Do you have any?
Yeah, I would get something like a TV Be Gone kit or a Minty Boost kit, one of like our $20 kits, or a watch kit, and then you're getting started, and you'll know real fast if you like to solder or if it's not your bag. That way, it's very easy, and that when you're done, you'll have something to use. And even if turns out that this is not your thing, you will have a USB charger or a thing to turn off TV. It's very handy.
Okay. If I can get a 3.4 voltage regulator, can I power a phone completely without a LiPo?
You could, but it's not recommended because phones require 2 amp spikes. You really want a battery to absorb that spike for you. Better to have a 5-volt regulator, have that trickle charge the battery, and then let the battery power the phone up.
Okay. Will the Adafruit, will Microsoft IoT Pack for Raspberry Pi with Raspberry Pi be useful for Adafruit.io? Yes.
Yeah, we don't have example code for it yet, but I'm almost positive that there is an MQTT demo. I mean, like MQTT is kind of the standard bearer for all sorts of Internet of Things stuff. And so running MQTT on that, you can talk to Adafruit.io. You can also use a RESTful interface, which I know is supported because everything supports a RESTful interface. And you can just go to like http://adafruit.io/ whatever, check out the API for the exact thing, and you can get and pull data that way as well.
Okay, next up, any suggestions on best way to build a vacuum chamber?
I have no idea. I have never built a vacuum chamber.
I would check the internet for that one.
I'm sure YouTube has tons of people making vacuum chambers and doing silly things
I've
with
used
them.
one, I haven't had to make one. Yeah. Next up, will you carry some SDR equipment?
We do carry, what do we carry? We carry the RTL SDR, which is a basic listen-only software-defined radio. We also have a programmable crystal oscillator. It's tough because we have wanted to carry some other RF products, and it's been very difficult to do so, the ones that we found really interesting. But we hope to. We think it's getting more and more popular. It's not always easy to get the SDR equipment where the price isn't more than what the person is already selling it for, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It's very hobbyist still. Very
Okay.
Small hobbyist.
Next up, will Adafruit ever stock SolidWorks? Oh, maybe we stock quote a weighted by EagleCAD. So we'll see if it makes sense. There hasn't been a lot of requests for it.
Yeah.
If there is, we'll see what we can do. Next up, question. Right now I'm looking to create a BLE device that can act as a proximity device that I can use Bluefruit to shine an LED when it comes on with a fixed distance of another Bluetooth device, such as an iPhone with a Bluetooth app. It's kind of a question.
I do not know
Yeah.
that there's any way for Bluetooth Low Energy to detect the server, the iPhone.
Yeah.
The way beacons work right now is only the iPhone can detect the beacon, because the beacon is very low power, and so the beacon is just going like bleep, bleep, and the iPhone picks it up. It doesn't work the other way.
Yeah.
However, you can detect with like Bluetooth Low Energy and a Bluefruit when the iPhone is connected to it. Don't know if that's helpful or not, but that's
Yeah,
what you can do with
that's a tough
Bluetooth Low
one.
Energy. It's not, it's like it was not designed for what you're asking, really.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, is there any way I can get the Adafruit IO beta without waiting? No, we're getting to all of them. They're just
We are getting to them.
Yeah, we have thousands of people.
Promise.
We're getting through them. We're doing a lot. Next up, how's MOSFET the cat? He's doing fine. He's
He's doing
chilling,
great.
sleeping.
He's just chilling.
Is Adafruit going to go to any Barnes & Noble mini Maker Faire locations? Yeah, we're probably going to go to one or more in New York.
You'll drop by. We
yeah.
went to Maker Faire, New York. That was fun.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, what's the cool what? Okay. What do you think what do you think the coolest thing between 24 megahertz and 120 megahertz is? Mine is around 27 megahertz CB radio.
I like 88.1 megahertz.
Okay. All right, and with that is our speed round of questions, Lady Ada. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Whew. Good work. All right. If we didn't get to your questions and it's something about products or whatever, just post in the forums.
We'll also be here next week.
Yeah, we'll also be here next week. Stop by. That's it, Lady Ada.
We're
going to give away. Yeah.
Okay. Wait, I have to make sure we don't forget.
I'm not going to forget.
I know.
What do you want to give away this week?
I thought we'd be super sweet and give away 8x8 matrix.
8x8 matrix.
A little 8x8 because the code is flex matrix. I thought let's give away a flex matrix.
Yeah.
That'd be cool, right?
Okay.
Okay, it's a dot star flexi matrix 8x8.
Okay.
Remember, don't flex it and crack it. It's only slightly flexy.
Okay. I'm gonna make this a pretty easy thing to win
Yeah,
tonight.
I want to eat.
Yeah. All right, you ready?
Yes.
First person to type the discount code in the chat wins. I'm looking at YouTube and I'm looking at Ustream. Sorry, sorry, Periscope can't do it.
What is the discount code?
Yeah, what's the discount code for tonight? Oh, here you go. Brian White, congratulations. Brian White, you got it. It is Flex Matrix.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations, Brian White. Brian White, email support@adafruit.com and let them know that you won. Tell them your name is Brian White and just
I'm really hungry, so it's good they made
and just say, hi, I won. And so the other thing, Brian, is if you can just tell them it is what specifically?
This is the 8x8 dot star matrix.
Is it this one?
Yes.
Or is it, no, it's this one.
Sorry, no, you're correct. 2734.
Yeah, what'll help us a little bit is if you tell when you email support@adafruit.com that it's product ID 2734. Okay, good work. You got it, Flex Matrix, Brian White. Good job.
Good attention paying.
Yeah. Okay, that's the show for the night. We'll be back next week. We'll have way more time for questions and some other things and more. Thank you so much for hanging in there tonight, folks. We had a bunch of videos and new products and news and more.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone out there, our staff members who run Adafruit, all of our community members who help us out, all of our team members that do everything.
Everybody
here.
that makes it happen.
Yeah.
And it happens every day.
Yeah.
And like everything, it's kind of, you don't realize how much it takes to move that train along every day.
Yeah.
We move it.
Yeah. And
Every
most of all,
day.
thank you to all the customers out there because there's always a lot of...
All 900,000 of you.
Yeah, there's always a lot of pressure to change the way you do business because other people want to do terrible things. And because we have... No, it's true. And because we have really good customers and we don't annoy them and we don't spam them, and we do good by them, they come back and they do stuff, and there's no hard sell. We just try to have the best products, best support, fastest shipping, best service.
Yep.
And so it's helpful. I like that you've built a business where we can prove that you don't need to do all those terrible things to have a business that can support employees and do good by the customers. I like that you've proven that. I don't know if anyone else is going to try to
Nobody else
do
seems
this.
to be into it. They're always
Yeah.
like, what can I do to scrape a little bit more out of people? But
Yeah.
I think if you treat people with respect, then they appreciate it. Like
Yeah.
I everything that we do is how I'd want a company to treat me.
Yeah, I was talking to someone who's been in the building companies. It hasn't really worked out, but they asked, "What's your exit strategy?" And I said to dispense all of the goodness into the employees and to the customers. And it was just like it was like
what?
no, it was just like I know that I was like I know what he was thinking. I know he was thinking like this guy's me, like I'm a chump and I'm a clown, and that's fine because like that's okay. And like maybe it is a bad idea, but.
It's worked out so far.
But I believe I'll get more holiday cards than other people.
We're not out of business.
Yeah. So, anyways, thank you so much, folks. Your orders is what runs the show here. So, thank you.
Yay.
We'll see everybody next week.
Use discount codes.
Yeah, use a discount code.
Get free stuff.
Yeah. The 3D printers are a really good deal when you use discount codes.
Yeah.
They really are, and I probably.
Yeah, we pretty much don't make. We pretty much.
We
like,
don't make.
don't get
We
money.
actually don't. We actually lose a little bit of money sometimes with 3D printers because they're big, heavy things.
Yeah, they cost a lot to ship.
And they cost a lot to ship, but it's okay.
It's okay.
It means you're watching the show.
Okay.
All right, we'll see everybody next week.
Next week.
Here's a cat. Here's a moment of Zener.
Sayonara.
Bye-bye.